Sun square Mars, Sun square Pluto, Mars opposing Pluto, Saturn North Node, Venus North Node, Venus Saturn in Pisces. This is a week that we've been building towards since the first full week of January 2025. I've been preparing everyone over on my Patreon. Hello, everyone. Welcome, willkommen to Elevated Astrology. I am Natalie, your host, psychic consigliere, remote viewer, professional instructor. I've been guiding everyone on Patreon to this moment and forward into June, and we're even talking about preparing for the fall. Our Elevated Astrology is the positive polarity perception of astrology, whereas every other YouTuber, astrologer, Instagrammer, astrologer operates from a negative perception of polarity. And in this context, positive negative is not a judgment. Positive negative is more masculine feminine, where the positive polarity perception from the perspective of Energy Masters, which is our club on Patreon, our little collective here on YouTube, is that reality doesn't happen to you, it's happening from you. You're tapped into the quantum field, the quantum realm, however you want to put it. Whereas the negative perception of polarity is that things are happening to you. The astrology in particular is happening to you. And whether you have a different, belief of how astrology works or why, or how it's effective, why it's effective, it's still the negative perception of polarity. So when you see, astrologers talking about their beliefs about astrology and the different subgroups, the different ways it partials off into little mini mental illnesses, it's still the negative perception of polarity. And so if you like manifestation, timeline jumping, those kinds of things, then you're already dipping your toe in the water of a positive polarity perception, and you may really get a kick out of energy mastery. So if you like things like lucid dreaming, astral projection, remote viewing, telekinesis, then this elevated astrology may be more resonant for you. I do 2 weekly overviews, this one for YouTube and then another one for that specific subgroup of people that are energy masters and leaders over on the Patreon. If you guys want to take a look, because sometimes the headline will be completely different for positive polarity perception and negative polarity perception. This is one of those weeks. This is one of those weeks because we've been building towards this week since the first full week of January of 2025. This is like, people are either going to be so happy with this week and so pleased and so satisfied, or they're going to be like complete victim that everything's happening to them and they have no idea how they got there. Or I feel like a third group will be people that just kind of knew better and wished that they did better. And they were more cognizant of what needed to be done or should have been done in their life. And then they just kind of like didn't do it. And then now we're in this week. So for the collective on Patreon, because we've been working the energy and because we've been doing all of our things, this is going to be a great week. This is going to be a great week. So it might be a little bit of a downer here on YouTube, but with the Saturn stuff, but I just want you to keep the perspective. I know it's a long intro, but it's important. The reason being is that this is such a big Saturn week, with Saturn on Monday meeting the North Node, with Venus meeting Saturn on Thursday, the 24th of April. The reason why it's going to be something we've been building towards is because all of this emphasis with the retrogrades, with Venus and Mercury retrograding with the Pisces and Aries energies, what Saturn's doing is concretizing and making it all very real. And throughout the past 4 months or so, since Mars went retrograde in December 2024, that's when you get a lot of confusion or misunderstandings or just bad behavior, people's subconscious truths coming out. And it could have just been very difficult for people to organize themselves, make decisions, move forward on things, or even be able to make discernments, make judgment calls. So as we're coming into this week, those judgment calls were made over the weekend when the moon went through Capricorn Friday, Saturday, and most of the first half of Sunday. That was like judgment call energy where everyone was making this like assessment and looking at the Capricorn area of life, but like looking at everything. So the things that are going to be prevalent this week, Saturn rules Capricorn. So when the moon went through Capricorn sign over the weekend, it made everyone really aware and cognizant of Saturn, what Saturn's doing, which is in Pisces, which is where the North Node is, which is where we had these retrogrades. And so it was like, and this week with these big highlights happening, it's like, okay, the bill has come due, you know, the thing has it's not like it's ripe and ready. It's certain things have been ripe and ready. This is more of you've already known what you already know you have to do. So have you been doing it? Have you been applying the things? This is the week that while it's been hard for everyone, now you're going to start to see the fruits of your efforts in managing the myriad difficulties throughout these retrogrades. And there's just like one final exam. Like I said, people know, it's like by now people know what to do. They're we're either doing it or we're not doing it. And so for this week, there's no cramming for this test. You've either grown, you've either developed, you've either learned, or and you can apply it and you're going to sail through this, or you're going to be overwhelmed. So the things that, okay, so this is a week where things are going to be deepening into a firmer commitment, and these are long-term decisions. This is like what's going on right now are long-term situations. So when people make these decisions, it could be making decisions for the next couple of years. So the things that firm up, I love this for any of so the Piscean, what's firming up or loosening this week and falling off or developing into a deeper level of commitment for a longer term picture, spiritual projects, creative projects, romantic feelings, anything that is Piscean in nature. What may loosen and fall away would be anything that just doesn't make sense, or it's not realistic, or it's not mature, it's not responsible. There's something very concrete and real about, okay, this makes sense for me in my life. This makes sense for my heart. This makes sense. This works. This is realistic. I can project it to the future, and it's like easily happening in this way, in this circumstance. What may fall off, or what, so it's like either making these commitments, getting, certain things more, it's certain things coming together through commitment, through concretization, through stabilization, and certain things and certain commitments we're releasing, certain, we're not dedicating our discipline to this anymore because it doesn't make sense, because it's not logical, because it's not realistic, because it's not creatively fulfilling, romantically fulfilling. And some people could be very overwhelmed with either responsibilities, with what they perceive as burdens, with whatever is going on. Some people could be very, very overwhelmed, especially over the weekend with the Capricorn moon. But the Capricorn moon, people were probably like, oh, this is not as like fun as it should be. It's not as it was like reality, consequences. So this week is more like a lot more of that, like whatever that those assessments were, like whether it was like a review at the job, or taking stock of like this, whatever it was over the weekend, it led into Sunday's kind of dust up with the sun and Mars, a quarter moon, the last Mercury-Pluto sextile, and the changes where it's like we're going into the new normal. This is what it's going to be. And so to make that happen and to move forward, people need to feel like it makes sense. People need to feel like it's realistic. People need to feel like they can trust their comrades, that they can trust their partners, that they can trust their whoever they're doing all of this with. Making this dream come true with this person, I got to trust you to come through. Making this dream come through with this person, I need to trust that you can show up consistently for that as well. And then, okay, now I've picked the good partners for all these different dreams. I'm showing up to all these different things. And okay, let's roll along. I'm a big fan of this week because I'm a Saturn person. And what I've been telling all of my people, this is something where you want to make sure that, okay, so whatever goes down this week, you're either going to be really happy with yourself, like I did everything that I could. And I'm honest with myself about what that was, what that looked like. And I know I did every single thing that was in my power, in my control, for what's meaningful to me, for my priorities, for what I really care about, what I really cherish. I did everything I could do. I clarified, I negotiated, I did all the things. I talked to as many people. I rallied as much support as I could for this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you will either feel like while you were under like pressure or strain or stress, that you still honored your integrity because of what you care about, because of what you're doing, what you believe in, the relationship you believe in, the project you believe in, the home situation you believe in, that you really did it. Some people are going to get caught out because they've been skimming cream off the top for too long, and you cannot do that forever. So it's like consequences, consequences, consequences. And then some people have been completely escaping and just avoiding. And then when you don't take responsibility, you can't change anything. So you're just going to get what you get. Like you're like whatever, however comes down, you're just going to like get what you get. And you haven't taken the agency to try and really go for it. And so you're just going to get what you get. And that was also a long overview to get into this week, but it's kind of that important. This is just one of those weeks that it's like I said, there's no more cramming for this test. It's like a final exam, and then like May and June are all the new. We're building out the new. So this is the week where it's almost like we're really setting these commitments. We're really deepening the trust into a manifestation, whether that's whatever that looks like for you, whether that's taking something on, letting something go, maneuvering in or out of a situation. Let's go ahead and get to the week and break this down day by day. Sunday, 420. I'm actually starting on Sunday to give you guys more context, because it really was like last week, the end of last week coming into this week, that like sets the tone for the rest of this week. So Sunday, 420 at 23:18 is where I'm going to pick up. Sunday night is when the moon meets Pluto, 23:18 Pacific time, at 3 degrees of Aquarius. On May the 4th, may the 4th be with you, Pluto will station retrograde at 3 degrees of Aquarius, which means that all of the changes, like big changes since the beginning of December, are they're not going to be, it's not going to be like big change anymore. It's going to be like you get the big changes, and then you're going to integrate them in your life for the next few months. So this 3-degree Aquarius point is very important, because the beginning of December, when that first week, I think it was like Wednesday, that first week of December, it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It was Mars stationing retrograde. It was Mercury cazimi. It was also Pluto entering Aquarius. Not only Pluto, it was Venus entering Aquarius. Not only Venus, but it was the moon entering Aquarius. That first week, remember you guys, there was all of the drones stuff happening. There was deny, defend, depose happening. There was a lot going on. Like December there's a lot going on. So that moment with all that Aquarius energy, that first week, that those days were like a huge push. It's like biting into a lemon, like there was just so much of that like new vibration, and people had to really chew on it for like months and months and months. And so Sunday night, circumstances could just bring up an acute awareness of how the Aquarius area of life has transformed since late November, first week of December 2024, when it was Pluto entering Aquarius, Venus entering Aquarius, the moon passing through Aquarius. So people were really thinking about it. People were like, whoa, the fuck is that? It was like a big thing. So now Sunday night, circumstances are bringing something, maybe something specific, maybe not, but just the vibration, just something, that new thing again. But you've had so many months of thinking about it that but it's coming back up for some reason. The energy of Sunday is also going to come up again Wednesday and next Sunday, the 27th of April. So Sunday night, people are like really meditating on that specific transformation. So maybe, you can think back to like that first week of December and what was like, whoa, was it deny, defend, depose? Was it the drones? Was it something else in your life? Like, what was it? That was like Monday, the 21st of April, 1:43 a.m. What's 1:43? I'm using the 24-hour time. 1:43, Saturn conjoins the North Node in Pisces. It's really been conjoining since 4 a.m. Thursday, the previous Thursday, the 17th of April. But this is when it goes exact. This is another reason why the end of last week was really important coming into this week. By Monday, 1:43, really like that Sunday night, like if you're awake at that time, it's just like made it absolutely necessary to look at life in long-term considerations, being realistic, being of the utmost highest integrity. That's what Saturn's about. Saturn is about integrity. Saturn is about doing these hard things because you know that it's worth it, because you really believe in it. I'm a Capricorn, Capricorn stellium, so I just really know this vibration. But what you earn, you keep with Saturn. It's how Capricorns we're able to push ourselves through heartbreaking things, absolutely difficult or horrifyingly, traumatizingly hard things, because we believe. The spiritual passion propels our body forward to do things, say things, take action. And when it's in alignment, it could be almost messianic in what we're able to put ourselves through because of that dedication, that discipline, the commitment. But it just needs to be in alignment, that's all. So some people have been just making unnecessary sacrifice past few months, not able to understand to put that down because of these retrogrades, a confusion of values, confusion of perception, people just lying and, deceiving. So I see Monday being very realistic. And like, here's the thing, you guys, like over on Patreon, we're energy masters and leaders. We've been consciously working with this energy for months. And so we're like excited for this week because we've been doing it, like, and putting in so much work and so much integrity. Our 3-word manifesto is truth, love, integrity. So it's like when Saturn meets the North Node, there is this, it's just necessary to be realistic. It's just like unavoidable to think about the long-term considerations and being realistic about it, and being realistic about either your limitations or other people's limitations, the limitations of the situation, you know what I'm saying? So it's like Mondays, like people after coming out of the Easter weekend, people are like, okay, I really have to do it. I know what I've had to do for a while now, and now I have to like really do it because it's become more and more urgent to take care of this. It's like something, that judgment energy was coming through Friday, Saturday. Sunday led to some kind of too many cooks in the kitchen, kind of a power struggle, or really busy, but energy masters and leaders, Sunday cathartic. And so as you get into Monday, you're either like, let me take care of this. I'm ready to take care of this. I want to take care of this because I'm excited to build out this long-term thing. I'm excited to make this commitment to this job, this living situation, this relationship, this creative project, these could even be, like I said, psychic goals, spiritual goals, monastic goals, but like you're taking it seriously, you want to commit to it, and you want to do the thing. Concretizing. That's the elevated astrology. Some people are going to absolutely hate this week. Some people on Monday are going to be like, especially if they were deceptive or escapist, they're going to be helped with seeing more like reality, but it may not be what they want because they were not working the energy. They were really resisting, or like whatever their issue was, doesn't matter. But like not everyone does well with responsibility and like really facing things or accepting the results or being mature, you know, those kinds of things. So there's a way to move forward with dignity. There's a way to move forward with like, what's that expression? Like just getting on with things, you know? Or so it's like either you have like that spiritual passion, you have like an ideal, you have a goal, you've had something that you've been really dedicated to, that you've been working on, or you've been confused or completely escaping something. Tuesday, the 22nd of April at 4:04, the moon in Aquarius trines. I almost forgot. I can't tell you everything. Okay, so I'm just picking this one thing for on Tuesday for you guys on YouTube. 14:55, the moon in Aquarius squares Uranus and Taurus. So keep an open mind so that you can take the gifts being offered. Just keep an open mind. That's it. Just keep on Tuesday, just keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. Wednesday, the 23rd of April at 10 o'clock, the sun will square Pluto. Sun in Taurus will square Pluto in Aquarius. It's going to be a pinch and then it's over. That's all. Honestly, you guys, this just should not surprise anybody. Like, this is a week where it's like you were either avoiding things and you tried to avoid this consequence and you're getting the consequence because there's no avoiding it, or you've been working and you've been trying to make something happen and you're making some progress, or you have to let it go, or you like get what you get. It's just so on Wednesday with the sun square Pluto, that's either going to be, it's going to be an echo. It's going to be an echo from Sunday on Wednesday, because on Sunday night there was that moon Pluto conjunction. So by Wednesday, the sun is shedding light on more of what needs to level up in the Taurus area of life to help Pluto complete some transformation that they've been working on since the first week of December. So some people are going to like freak out. Some people are going to be super triggered. Some people, it's going to be like a power struggle, but that's not even going to be anything new. Like you've just been, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, none of this is like new. This week is like final exam results. Did you learn it or not? Like you embedded it. There's no cramming. That's like this week. Okay. So also on Wednesday, Venus North Node. Actually, I'm going to save it for Thursday. Okay. Thursday, the 24th of April, we have at 1631 Venus conjoining Saturn at 27 degrees of Pisces. This is pure beauty. I'm really excited for this one. It's like art, monastic, psychic, creative masterpieces. It's something, because here's the thing, this is a week of long-term considerations, and you're either building a masterpiece that's going to stand the test of time, or you're getting karma, or you're having to face reality, or you're just getting what you get. Because as a Capricorn, you should take it from me. Let me tell you, like I said before, with Saturn, what you earn, you keep. So if you're trying to keep something that you didn't earn, you're going to lose it. Because you didn't put in, you weren't real. You weren't real about putting in the work, or you weren't real about your intentions or your motives, or you weren't real about your commitment. You weren't real. Like, it's put to the test. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't fake this test. You can't talk your way out of this test. You can't maneuver around. It's like, you've got to do it. You've got to face it. And what Saturn will do, like, this is the week where Saturn, like, and this day, Thursday, where Venus meets Saturn, Saturn is going to say, I've been seeing you waking up at 4:45 a.m. in the morning to get ready and go do your things and take care of all this stuff. I've been seeing you and your 4 jobs driving all around the city. I've been seeing you make these sacrifices. I've been seeing you put in the efforts. I've been seeing you working really hard. I've been seeing you suffering for what you believe in. I've been seeing you do all these hard things. So you know what? I'm going to call Venus. I'm going to get Venus to come over. She's going to bring you something good for that. We're going to take care of you. It's going to be a nice little reward, but it's what you've earned because you've earned it. As a Capricorn, you know, people say that we're like mean. Capricorn's so mean, that we're assholes, you know, but we love to love people. We love to spoil people. We love to give. We love to work hard and give and just have someone say, thank you. That's it. We just want someone to be grateful for what all that we put ourselves through to be able to give or to do or whatever. So this Venus Saturn conjunction on Thursday, it's going to be, I feel like that's going to be a really happy moment because it's going to feel so good for you to receive that or to give that. And maybe both. Maybe it's happening like in different areas of your life. Because I remember my father, I was such like a daddy's girl growing up. Like I would always ask him, like, tell me a story about your life, or tell me a story about when you were a little boy. And like, I just love stories. You guys, I'm a writer. I love stories. But when we would go to like the hardware store or something, he would say at the end, like he'd grab my hand, like, Natalie, thank you so much for being so patient. And thank you for letting me shop for the tools or for the thing, whatever he needed. Thank you so much for being. And that would just make me feel like, you know, like it would make me very proud to be mature, make me very proud to be patient, make me very proud to sustain a short-term like sacrifice of my attention, you know, my behavior or whatever. And it wasn't like he was saying, be good and then I'll give you this when you're good. Be good now and I'll buy you this later. It was not like that. It was not transactional. It wasn't anything like that. I was just good. And then at the very end, he would say thank you like that. And that was like everything. Thursday just feels kind of like that to me. It just feels like you're going to be happy with the work you put into your mental health, your physical health, maybe you're gaining weight or losing weight. You're going to feel, you know, whatever's been so hard that you've been trying to do. Maybe you've been trying to work on a creative project. You've been trying to work on your relationship. You've been trying to work. If you were earnest about it, you were sincere about it, I feel like you're going to love this week. And that Venus Saturn is going to be like, you know, that's what I got. That's what I'm getting for that Venus. Now, for some people, okay, so that's the elevated astrology. For other people, I can't do this anymore with you. I can't do this anymore with you. This is you're draining the life and vital life force out of me. I can't do this anymore. I'm like losing myself. I am not who I am anymore because I'm trying to take care of you and your issues or whatever. This is not practical. This is not long term. You're not getting any better. I don't really believe you. You just talk in circles, or you always have something to say, or you're super defensive. You won't go to therapy. You won't do this. You won't do that. You won't take any responsibility. I've been trying to work with you for months and months, and you're just guilting me about not continuing on and on with this. Like it's really, really like, this will be that difference of a week in the spiritual splitting where some people are done. And when it like Capricorn energy, when Capricorn is like, this isn't, they're either ungrateful or they're not putting in the same effort that I am, or they're not getting it, or they're not they can't do it. They just have a limitation. And so it's like this week of Saturn, and that's like that tough love. Like this is that week of Saturn's tough love energy that could have started even as early as like, what was that, like Friday morning or something, where it's like, okay, this has got to be, everything has to be like the very highest integrity. It's the only way this is going to work. It has to be real, and you can't fake that. You can't lie about that. That's what this week kind of is. It's like, well, we gave you 4 or 5 months to work on this, and you're falling short, so we're not going to do this. Or if it's like a, like a relationship or a personal thing, if those commitments loosen, it's because it does not make sense. It is not realistic. So Venus Saturn could be tough love of a separation, but that's what I'm saying. Like for some people, it's like marriage, children, commitments, contracts, long-term commitments. But for some other people, it's getting out of those things. I'm not doing this project with you. I'm not doing this relationship with you. I'm not doing this. I'm not driving you around here. I'm not taking you there. I'm not, and it's the release. It's the release of that commitment that's because it's not serving you and it's not realistic, doesn't make any sense. And some people are just, like I said, just going to be very overwhelmed with all of this, like serious stuff. Friday, the 25th of April. Guys, I'm recording this at like 6 a.m. So get this out for you guys. I'm doing this. Happy Easter, happy resurrection. I'll leave that for the Energy Master version. Okay. Friday the 25th at 6:32, the moon in Aries sextiles Pluto in Aquarius. Okay, so after the month that we've had, you should have been neutralizing your fears. This should be very empowering on Friday. You should be empowered. You should feel good about things. You should feel positive. That looks like a good feeling. It's an Aries moon. This is also closing up the lunar month from the end of March. So whatever this is, for me, this is really putting to bed the eclipse season. It's been a long fucking cycle. It's been a long couple months. It's been long. So once the moon goes into Aries at 23, so it'd be like 12:23 a.m. on Friday the 25th, we're wrapping up the situation since March 29th, 27th, 28th, 29th. Wrapping it up, closure in the can. So I feel like because this was the solar eclipse of bravery, what was that? What did you use that for? Because you should have been using it to clean up the Pisces crises, like I told you. I think that video is up on YouTube. I think I did a video for that, for the Aries solar eclipse. So take a look at that, because it's just been getting more and more urgent to take care of the Pisces crises. And that's what Saturn is doing. So that's why Saturn's like, if you don't take care of this, I will. If you don't address this relationship issue, I will. And something's going to like happen out of your control. And what did Jung say? When we're unaware of the subconscious, we experience things and we call it fate, something like that. So it's like Saturn's just going to be like, you've either been working so hard to take care of this, and here you go, you've earned it, or you haven't been doing anything to take care of this, so I'm going to take care of it, and you're just going to get what you get. Or people have been knowing the right thing to do and trying to skim the cream off the top and talk their way around things and be manipulative since December and being like that. And Saturn's going to be like, you can't do that anymore. You can't do that anymore. And those people that have been having like bad behavior since December, there's going to be limitations. There's going to be restrictions, limitations, blockages. It's just something that you're trying to do that you or it's something you want to feel and you can't. It's like a no. You cannot pass go. Saturday, the 26th of April at 17:52 is when we have the Mars-Pluto opposition. So from Thursday, when Mars entered Leo, we've been building towards this last final opposition. So this is also kind of an echo from Sunday, 4/20, when it was 1 degree. So again, it's like coming back around from Sunday, from Wednesday, from the first week of January. But at that point, at the first week of January was when we had the second Mars-Pluto opposition. How are you feeling that first week of January? Like New Year's. A lot of people had a pretty like fucked up New Year's. Some people. The first week of January, Mars was retrograde, Uranus was retrograde, Jupiter was retrograde. It's a lot of internalizing energy. But the nodes were in Aries still at that point in the beginning of January. So on Saturday, the 26th, it's like an echo from Wednesday, the 13th of this week, from Sunday, the 20th of this week, and from the first week of January, 2025. What did the discovery of power or power plays since January, the first week of January 2025, teach you about your own sense of power? Situations have changed, the characters have changed, the roles may have changed, and how do you feel about it? Because Saturday the 26th, people could be feeling just really raw, really upset, especially if they tried to do power plays since January that have not worked. It could flare up again. You are either self-empowered or you're going to be feeling out of control this week. It's going to be the Sun, Mars, Pluto that's going to make you feel out of control, and you're going to feel like other people are trying to control you, or you're going to feel like other people are threatening, or you're going to feel like it's other people trying to like mess with you, or you're going to feel out of control because of the Saturn, the seriousness, the weight, the responsibility. And you're going to feel like a victim to your circumstances. You're going to feel like a victim to your own consequences. So like, that's what I'm saying. This spiritual split this week is very split between these two dominating energies. What I like the most about Saturday the 26th is that it's the last one. It's like the last really big change. It's one of the last really big changes, because next week is very different. This is like the action-packed week where it's like just like a lot of results. And when the moon goes into Aries Friday, it'll be in Aries all day Friday, all day Saturday. We're wrapping things up. And that's when I say, don't be insecure. Don't freak out about your life. Energies are low. People are tired. It would be easy for people to feel kind of like nervous or maybe insecure, but the elevated astrology is using that energy to rest, to meditate, to rejuvenate, and to be excited for the next week, because we have a new moon, a new beginning, a clean slate on Sunday, the 27th. And that could even start as early as Saturday, because the moon is going to be void for a great part of the day on Saturday. So when we have Saturday's Mars-Pluto opposition, it's like people are going to be sitting in the energy, sitting in a frustration, a bitterness, and a sense of empowerment, a sense of deep excitement, or like creative vitality, creative force. It's just going to be very, very dramatic, the differences. It leads us into Sunday, the 27th of April. At 6:15, the moon overnight will move into Taurus. And at 6:15, that moon in Taurus will create the T-square with the Mars-Pluto opposition. So Mars is going to get right in between that opposition. And it really started like April 17th, when we had Mars entering Leo, and then the moon went into Capricorn, and everyone was like thinking like, oh, this is out of line. This person's out of line. This isn't good enough. This is showing no results. This was the way that led into the weekend, 18th, 19th, 20th. And then that 20th, April 20th, Sun Mars square flares up again Wednesday, the 13th, comes to some big showdown, either a showdown or a really powerful, exciting moment, Saturday the 26th. And that leads in to the new moon on the 27th in Taurus, which is characterized by this participation in this crunchy or exciting and create. It's either like, how are you channeling the tension? Is it creative tension, or is it like conflict tension. Saturn's been putting pressure on you to choose. Like you are either going to let this go and put the tension into creativity or monastic goals or something positive, or you haven't been taking responsibility for the conflict tension. You've been evading it or avoiding it or investing where it's like doesn't make sense to keep putting into it because you're resisting something. You're resisting the truth. You're resisting, you know. So the Taurus new moon at 7 degrees, Uranus trined March 13th eclipse, lunar eclipse in Virgo. If you've been like embracing the new and doing the best with what you have, you're going to have a great new moon. You're going to have a great week next week. So just be excited and let other, if it's not your responsibility, you like, this is a week where people are like, this is really not my responsibility. And I cannot let this drag me down. And I'm excited about this and I want to do that. And what's that lyric? The lyric from Ace of Base. Oh gosh. No one can drag you up into the life where you belong. It's your life. You have to drag yourself up into the life where you feel like you belong. This is a week where people feel like they're exactly where they're meant to be. They're going to feel like this is their destiny. They're going to feel like I'm making these changes because this is right for me. And this is where my compass is pointing, or they're going to feel like completely, it's really consequences, but they're going to feel like they're frustrated, but that's frustrated ego energies. And they have not been dealing with something that they were supposed to deal with as early as spring 2023. Boom, consequences, boom, responsibilities. Okay. I love you guys. I'm going to trundle out to the Easter day. Have a wonderful week. I'll be back with more. If you guys have any interest in the energy mastery side of things and the positive polarity perception, you can do the Patreon free trial for 1 week and check it out, see how you like it. You're going to start with that pinned video, The Beginning of Phenomena. For those of you interested in attending live in-person telekinesis demonstrations, make sure that you are following me here on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram to enter into the raffle. Have a wonderful week. Like I said, this is going to be, for those of you for the elevated astrology, it's going to be like, you did the hard things and you're happy with yourself. If you did everything that you could do, you're going to be very, very happy with this week because Saturn will see that and recognize that. That's just karma. That's just energy. That's just like how reality works. So only being honest with yourself, if you did do everything that you could do, will you feel good about this week? And if you feel like you were in your integrity this whole way, you'll feel amazing because you were trying in your integrity and that you stayed true to yourself and that you maintain that integrity. That's what Saturn wants to see. And when Saturn and Venus meet up, that's sweet. That feels good. Love you guys. Have a beautiful week ahead. And until next time, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Wow.